there is a bill that was brought in the Senate here calling for an investigation to facilitate the reviewing of the relationship between Kenya and the US in matters, the status of non-NATO ally. And I want to ask you to lobby your senators and your congressmen to support that bill by giving facts of what is happening back at home, which you are aware. I've seen people back at home trying to blame me because of that matter that has been brought to the Senate. I did not bring it. I'm not a senator in the US. They are directed their anger at me. All manner of accusations. I did not bring the matter, but I support it because the issues that have been raised by the Americans is the issues that I raise every day. The issues of extrajudicial killings, abductions, the issue of interfering in Sudan by working with a terrorist group called RSAF, the issue of working with Al-Shabaab. Those issues were brought by the Americans. And all I said is that Kenyans should support by giving information to the legislators here to enable America hold William Ruto to account. And I did ask the Americans not to impose sanctions on Kenya because Kenya is innocent, but to apply sanctions against William Ruto as a person so that he can be brought to order. So I found a member of parliament from Mandera there in parliament making a lot of noise, saying that I'm against the people of Mandera. I have nothing against the people of Mandera, and he should not drag the people of Mandera into the challenges William Ruto is facing with the American people. Nowhere did anybody say that the people of Mandera have committed any crime against anybody. What we said is that the Americans are saying William Ruto met some bad people in Mandera. If you meet bad people in Mandera, it does not mean that the people of Mandera are party to the meeting that you had. So I also saw the senator trying to say that we have a problem with the Somali community because we are asking that William Ruto be held to account. Nobody has any problem against any community. The Somalis are part of Kenya, and they are a very serious community that has done a lot in the transformation of our country and the economic development of our nation. They are very serious drivers of our economy. They are very aggressive in business. So the senator of Mandera, don't drag the Somali community into the challenges facing William Ruto. It's William Ruto who is being told to account by the Americans for his activities with the terrorist organizations. The people of Mandera, the Somali community, are innocent and have nothing to do with it. And by the way, I want to tell the politicians there in northern Kenya, if you want to defend William Ruto, defend him. But don't try to create a wedge between us and the Somali community because we have nothing against them. They are part of Kenya, and they too are telling us they are suffering just like the rest of Kenyans. And doesn't mean because Aden Ware is eating, the Somali community are eating. They are also complaining of marginalization. They are complaining of bad economic times. In fact, the Somali community, more than any other, has really borne the brunt of extrajudicial killings and forced disappearances for a long time. So let nobody try to create a wedge between those opposed to William Ruto and communities. Let William Ruto answer the Americans for what he has done and what he has not done. I saw the Minister for Interior saying that we should be asked to help in investigations in this matter. We cannot help in any investigations because the Kenya government has not initiated any investigations against William Ruto. The people who have initiated investigations is the American Senate. So if there is need for us to help in investigations, we'll help the American Senate, not the Kenya government, because the Kenya government has not initiated any investigation. Number two, the Kenyan government cannot investigate William Ruto because those policemen work under him. And all the things he is doing of killing people and abducting people, he is doing with the very police. So there is nobody stupid enough to go and report William Ruto to the Kenyan police. Nothing will be done against it. So whoever sees, please don't sell fear to us. You know we cannot buy. In any case, it is the same CS who said that when 5 chiefs were abducted by Al-Shabaab, he said that they will go into negotiation with the Al-Shabaab to have them released. How can you negotiate with people you do not know? And since they were released after negotiations, the CS Interior knows much more than anybody else on who are the leaders of Al-Shabaab, because he said publicly that he'll initiate negotiations for the release of the 5 chiefs who were abducted. The 5 chiefs were released after successful negotiations with Al-Shabaab. So the CS Interior knows whom he negotiated with. So if he wants information as who are the leaders of Al-Shabaab, he is in a better position to tell the people of Kenya and the world and the Americans, because he has already had business with them that has been successful. So please, the Americans have asked the questions. I'm not the one who has asked. If I'm required to help the things I know on the issues in Sudan, the dealings with RSF, I'm ready to help. But the Americans, not the Kenyan government, because the Kenyan government has not raised any issue. They are comfortable with what is happening. As a leader in Kenya, I am quite informed that for me to succeed and to be a leader worth my name, I must continuously listen to the people of Kenya so that I align my thinking and my programs and my leadership with what they want. I had very meaningful engagement with our people here in the United States, and I'm a wiser person. I'm not the way I came. By the time I go home back, I'm a better leader. I'm a wiser leader. I've learned so much by listening to Kenyans. I have seen so much. And I must tell you, you guys are great people, that you have come to a foreign land and stamped your authority by succeeding. You are having businesses that are very successful. Where you are employed, you have made impact. Tafadhali mujipigie makofi. Pongezi. And that encourages me that much as we are having problems back home, all is not lost, because our greatest asset as a nation is a human resource at our disposal. And if you guys have succeeded here in the United States, where things are working and systems are right, it takes clear to everybody that if we get working systems at home, things too can work. And I'm looking for that partnership with you, where we can work together and fix our country, because at the end of it all, east or west, home is best. And you didn't leave Kenya because you hate Kenya. No. You are not here because you hate home. No. You came here to look for greener pastures and to expand your territories and to look for opportunities that were not available back home. If those opportunities were available back home, you'd be at home. And therefore you have a duty, and I've heard most of you tell me, you like to come back home and help us grow our country and build our economy. But it's only fair that as you come home, you cannot leave a working system to come to one that is not working. So it is in your interest that we fix our country. When systems are working at the right time, you can come back home. And we are offering a different kind of leadership, a different module of governance to right what is wrong in our country and to make sure that things are working the way they work here. What is going back at home is that the president we elected, most of you, ourselves, we campaigned for him, has turned against the people of Kenya and become a dictator who cannot be told by anybody, and he's running down the country and nobody can talk to him. And He has compromised the opposition. He has captured Parliament and Senate, and there is nobody to hold him to account. And since nature abhors vacuum, our young children, the Gen Zs, filled that space and became the opposition in Kenya and said, no, what is happening is not acceptable. It shouldn't happen, and it's within the constitutional right, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, to say no. And then the president embarked on a very brutal purge and reprisal against the young people, leading to very violent abductions, forced disappearances, and extrajudicial killings. And as a result, in the last 2 years, many young people between the ages of 12 up to 24 have been killed. Others have been maimed. Others have disappeared. They are not known where they are. And there is a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of anguish in the country. As mothers, as fathers, as all of us as parents, cry for our children. Things have gotten so bad that the president doesn't fear anymore to support the killing of children publicly. His minister for Interior publicly and shamelessly gave an order of shoot to kill to policemen and said, if you see anybody near a police station, just shoot and kill, despite the fact that a police station is a public institution and Kenyans have every right to go to a police station. Instead of William Ruto admonishing the minister for going against the constitution, he went ahead and issued further orders himself that people should be shot in the leg. A president saying publicly, shoot them in the leg, harm them, then take them to hospital on their way to prison. That is how callous he has become, and he doesn't hide anymore. It's the extent of the impunity that is very worrisome to the people of Kenya. That a leader who is elected by the people has the audacity to threaten Kenyans and issue orders for them to be harmed, to be injured before they are in prison. Even before Kenyans could recover from that shock, one of his sycophants, who is a chairman of the Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations in Parliament, Nelson Koech, went ahead and said the president is wrong. He's too soft, he is too lenient. They should not be shot on the leg, they should be shot on the head. That is a kind of impunity that is in our country. And when a lot of pressure came from here in the States the other day, because the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee in the Senate here in the US brought a bill to review the relationship of the US and Kenya in respect of the status of a non-NATO ally. They are trying to do some little interventions to deceive the United States and the world that they are doing something. So the president has now formed a committee to look into how to compensate those who have been killed. How do you kill people, then you compensate them? What he should do before he can talk of compensation is first stop the killing and recite his order of shooting the leg and recite the order of Kipchumba Murkomen of shoot to kill before he can even talk about compensation. Fine, it is in order to compensate families that have lost their children. But it is immoral to kill children and then compensate their parents. Why don't you let them live? Let them live. You don't have to compensate them. If they are leaving you, there is no need for compensation. So the president needs to admit liability, apologize to the parents and to the people of Kenya, recite his order on shooting the leg, countermand his minister on shoot to kill, then we can discuss compensation. But you cannot pretend you are compensating people who have lost their children and you have not yet recited the order that you gave for them to be shot. It's double speak and it's not genuine. Again, back home, he has messed the healthcare system. When he came into office, there was the NHIF, which was struggling but working. And you people know, because you take care of people back home. At least NHIF was working but struggling. So what we needed were reforms in the NHIF Act to make it more compliant, to make it more efficient, and to make it serve the people of Kenya. Instead, he scrapped it and brought something called SHIF. NHIF needed 800 million Kenya shillings to reform. He scrapped it and brought something called SHIF at a cost of 104 billion Kenya shillings. That is money that is being stolen.